after faking a news conference. Instead of facing the usual grilling from journalists, the Emergency Management Agency had its own employees, you see them sitting down right there, pretend to be reporters and ask the questions. Well, now the White House is responding.
It is not a practice that we would employ here at the White House, or that we certainly don't condone it. We didn't know about it beforehand. FEMA has issued an apology saying that they had an error in judgment when they were attempting to try to get out a lot of information to reporters who are asking for answers to a variety of questions in regards to the wildfires in California. It's not something I would have condoned, and they, I'm sure, will not do it again.
NBC's Jeannie Ohm is live at the White House. Jeannie, FEMA calls it an error in judgment. I understand the Department of Homeland Security says something very different.
You're right. This is a story that is growing ever since it was first published in the Washington Post. The White House said they had just heard about it then. Well, this afternoon there was a strong response from the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees FEMA. And I want to read part of it. Quote, "This is inexcusable and offensive, and stunts like this will not be tolerated or repeated. It was a lapse of judgment, and we find it offensive, and it won't happen again." Laura Keener added that, in fact, the senior leadership is now taking a look at whether FEMA staff will be reprimanded over this incident. So certainly it's not the kind of press FEMA was looking for. They were really trying to show that they had learned from the mistakes of Hurricane Katrina and were really being proactive, very quick on its feet to respond to the wildfires in California. Instead, now a lot of people talking about this staged news conference earlier in the week.
And Jeannie, kind of explain the details. My understanding is, of course, that they called this press conference, very quickly with only 15 minutes to go, and so that didn't give reporters the chance to actually show up. And then I guess there was a call-in that reporters could call into, but they said no questions. Well, then who was asking the questions at the press conference?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Around here, when you give 15 minutes notice, that's clearly not enough time for any crews to get in position. So the video feed was actually provided by FEMA. So you didn't have reporters getting to the briefing. They did provide an 800 number, but you couldn't even ask questions. So who was asking the questions? It was actually FEMA staff, including some people who work in public affairs. A total of 6 questions were asked. Questions such as, how is FEMA doing? Have they improved from their lesson? So there certainly was no follow-up that you would typically expect once you get a standard response, trying to find out more probing questions, if you will.
All right, NBC's Jeannie Ohm, thank you so much.